Good morning, everyone. It's Yvonne here to spend a beautiful half an hour with you this morning and share some of the beautiful messages I have for you today. Firstly, I want to just say thank you for being given this opportunity, because it's something that I've really always wanted to do, and probably, the next step in my journey. So the plan for today is I'll do a bit of a daily read for you guys, have a look what's going on in the world today, and then we'll move into taking some callers. And I just had the Tower card jump out at me. This card has been coming up quite a lot lately, so I know that there's this sort of push from the universe to move into a new time, and a lot of people are being stripped back of their old beliefs and how the world should be for them. This is something that's happening to a lot of people, both in private personal readings and in my general readings on YouTube. So being it's jumped out this morning, I feel like it's very close. I talk a bit about childhood trauma and healing your past, because I think that it holds a lot of people back. Understanding the world is a place that's, more dangerous than it needs to be. So therefore you don't take risks, being very guarded about life, perhaps believing that life won't offer you certain things. And when you have those beliefs, you live your life by them, and sometimes they are deeply set in your psyche. So, we can't always recognize what does that for us, but if you're not able to manifest, maybe there is something holding you back. Maybe you were told in your childhood you wouldn't amount to something, or you would never be wealthy, or never have the love you desired. And if that's the belief you have deep down, it makes it very difficult for the universe to bring something in. So let's have a look what's happening in the world today. So first off here, we have the Two of Wands coming in. Now, the Two of Wands talks of walking down a different pathway. So there's an opportunity coming in for you here. This is an opportunity that gives you the chance to take on something new, something very beautiful coming in here. I do have the card of heartbreak behind that. So that says to me that you've been through some perhaps treacherous times or something that's brought you through. It's really sort of funny because this is a pretty heavy reading this morning, and I do have the Five of Pentacles behind that, and you working on yourself. So there seems to be this feeling here that perhaps you've been through some very difficult times lately, and now you're looking at how to bring in better times for yourself, how to work on those things that have been holding you back. So for some of you, it could be, going out into new study because you need perhaps more experience to get the job you want. Or, you could be meditating or looking at how to improve yourself at a personal level. But certainly people putting in the energy and the work here, which is so important to you. Okay, so we do have the card of transformation coming out next. The transformation card here also represents Scorpio, but this talks about being able to go deep inside and sort of, look at who you really are deep inside. Okay, and then we have the Page of Wands coming out. So there's definitely something happening here, some sort of message you've been waiting to receive. Maybe you're seeing things a little bit more passionately. Maybe you're starting to understand more about your personal journey, but you're definitely finding more stability here in what you do. And this always, and I do say a lot. I've noticed that about myself before, so please excuse my ums. This is an ers. This is about more stability. This is bringing more stability in your life. It's bringing you more opportunities, more stability, and the Ten of Cups. Now, on YouTube, I always call this my Ten of Ducks card, because it's like having everything in a row. And we know how hard it would be to get 10 ducks in a row. But for you here, there's like this beautiful feeling that you are coming into a time where things are starting to feel like things are happening for you. Now, there seems to be this sort of feeling of late that people have been stuck in energy. They've been saying, again, both, on my Facebook page, YouTube, I'm hearing people feeling like they're stuck. The Knight of Wands says to me, things are about to go forward in a very big and passionate way. So if you feel that you've had a life where you've been struggling to move forward, you can't get the job you want, you can't get the relationship you want, you can't find the house you want, things are about to change here because there's great movement coming in. and new opportunities coming in for you everywhere here. So for some of you, this is something you love to do. So if you haven't been able to get your business off the ground, you haven't been able to, as I said, find the house you want, there's so many opportunities coming in. They may not come in a way that you thought they might. So be open to something new here, something very beautiful coming towards you. You may have been doing some sort of research on the internet. You could be, internet dating, but definitely somebody new, something new, some new opportunity heading your way. So we do have the Chariot. So there's definitely forward movement here. Could be dealing with people who are water signs at the moment. The reading is very much Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces here. But definitely moving towards something that you've wanted for a long time that you felt stuck and unable to get to. So, and this is why you've been stuck. So we do have the devil energy coming out. So the devil energy is often about your ego. It's about those things in life that can hold you back. I mean, it can talk of addictions and obsessions, but certainly it's about not really understanding your capacity or your power, and being held back by your ego. So your ego can be things people have told you that aren't true, but you've believed them. And funny enough, that happened to me yesterday. Somebody was telling me of something they had been told, and they were really intent on what they'd been told. And I was standing there listening to them thinking, that isn't true. That so isn't true. But people trust that somebody who's telling them. So if somebody who's in a position of power tells you something that's not true, you may believe them because of their position or their status rather than what they're actually saying. I'm a Google expert. I Google it if I'm not sure. But this is how you're feeling here with this Queen of Wands. You're taking on this beautiful, empowered energy here because you're seeing now what the future can hold. You're no longer going to be held back by things that no longer serve you. So it's like you're starting to do what I did yesterday, where I said, well, actually, I'm not sure that that's true. You know, I understand that someone's told you because their belief in that might have been what they thought was real. But maybe you need to go and do a little bit of research on that, because somebody's told you something that may hold you back from having what you want. And that's not always a good thing. So please, if people tell you things and it doesn't sit right with you, use your intuition. I do that when I'm talking with my readings as well, because sometimes I read for you and you're like, well, that doesn't really resonate with me, or it doesn't make me feel like it's real. And you have an intuition, so you know that it's real or if it's not. So be prepared to challenge people. Ask them, what do they mean by that? And, if a reader's doing that for you, then please ask for clarification. We all want to be able to break things down. And if it doesn't sound right, maybe we're not saying it in a way that resonates with you. But there's nothing wrong with challenging things, nothing wrong with asking questions, nothing wrong with being inquisitive. So we have our first caller through this morning. So I think it was Mary coming through. Somebody from Maryland. Sorry, I should have written it. Marcy from Maryland coming through. So are you there with us, Marcy?
Yes, I am.
Hello, Marcy. Oh, hello, Marcy. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
How are you?
You can hear me? Oh, absolutely beautiful this morning. Beautiful. Because we may have a little lag, being I'm speaking to you from Australia. So bear with me. Do you have a question for me today?
Well, I actually probably have 100 of them, but the one thing that I'm most, and I don't know if you would be able to do this for me, but I've always been, my mother passed away in 1987, and I was rather young, and I just always wanted to know if she's there, if she has any messages for me, if anything that maybe from my mother, and her name was Erica.
Your mother is around you. She's around you quite a lot. So she makes herself known, but sometimes you're not perhaps consciously aware of things that are happening around you. I hear music playing. Was she a big music person? I'm not sure how you feel very young here when she passed. So I don't know how much you know about her, but I see her dancing to music. So she loved music. She loved sounds. Can you remember that?
Yes, she did love music, and she loved to dance.
Yeah, she's dancing in the kitchen. So it's like she danced when she was cooking. She moved to everything. So it's like she loved the rhythm of everything around her. Because I see her doing something where she's just swaying to the music. She got lost in the music. So it was her way of escaping things. So she comes to you very often through music that you listen to. I think you listen to very different music to what she did, because I've almost got that, like, the BBC or ABC music playing here. So it was very much more aligned to her time. So what you listen to is very different. But she plays music. So maybe listen to what the songs are that she's playing you, because very often they are bringing the messages through to you. Now, she is trying to talk to you about some change you've got in your life at the moment. So you've got something changing for you here. You're about to make some sort of decision.
I don't see any immediate or big changes coming.
There's something going to be presented to you here. And she's saying to me to let you know that you actually are a very good decision maker. You're very strategic and very, very able to understand how to plan for things. So something is coming through that you need to perhaps be more aligned with in terms of strategy and thinking things out. So it may be some sort of planning you need to do. What she's showing me is it's like she's got things in front of her, like a chessboard that she's moving around. So that says to me you have to move something around in your life to allow for something new to come in. But I'll leave that with you, because that will come through when it's ready. So it will resonate when it's time. Okay. She sees a lot of herself in you. So you're a lot like her. I don't know if she means physically or whether she means in person, but there is a lot about you that reminds her of her. So she said that even though she's not around, you still have a lot of the things that she has had herself that you're bringing forward in the world. So some of your talents, perhaps. So is it something that you do that she used to do?
Well, a lot of people said that I look just like my mom. And I didn't really see it that much. And then as I've gotten older, I've noticed it. But then a lot of people say my daughter looks just like me, but I see my mom and my daughter. And my daughter is named after my mother.
Oh, there you go.
I have a lot of my mom's traits. There's, some that I wish I had more of, and some I wish I had less of. But but yes, I do see a lot of myself and my mother and myself.
Yeah. I don't know. I should just say something about patience. What does that mean? Are you not very patient, or are you too overly patient with things? Because she's talking about patience.
I probably have more patience than she did, but sometimes I could be a little more patient. I like to get things done, and I don't like to wait. I don't like to procrastinate. I like to get things done, and I guess maybe she means that.
Okay, she's saying something about a dolly here. What's Dolly? Is that a nickname, or is that something that you had?
A dolly. A doll?
Dolly. A doll? Something to do with a doll.
Okay,
we'll leave that
I'm
one.
not sure what that is.
I thought it might have been a nickname, because it sounds like she's using it as a nickname. So did she have a nickname for you?
No, she just, not that I know of, not that I remember of.
Okay. All right.
And Dolly, I have no idea, but I'm writing it down.
Yeah, it's always good too, because later on people come back and say, oh, I know what she meant by that now. But know that
Correct,
she
right.
really loves you. She really loves you. She's around you all the time, and she plays music for you. So just listen out to songs that play on the radio. And I'd say now, or how you listen to music, maybe it's in your car. But there seems to be a feeling that she's going to try and get more messages through to you now that you're listening.
Oh, okay. We always have the feeling that she plays with our lights in the house.
She does a lot of things to get your attention, and she feels that you're not listening to her. So now if you listen to the music, you will understand that she's around you all the time. Her energy is very close to you.
Okay.
All right? So never doubt. All right? No worries, Marcy.
Well,
it's been lovely to talk to you.
And it was lovely talking to you. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Oh, it's always beautiful, isn't it, to speak to people online. I wish I had more time to talk with people, but we're sort of a little bit limited. I do have another call coming through, so and it's somebody from Chickasee. So Dorothy from Chickasee. So Cherokee. Okay, you must excuse me because I'm not great, and I thought I'll write them down so I can get used to the very different names. Never mind. So welcome. Are you able to hear me there?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, your name's Cherokee.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How are you?
I'm doing very good. It's my 26th birthday today.
Oh, very nice. Happy birthday. How are you celebrating?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet, so no plans?
No. I'm not a very big planner.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing, because sometimes those spontaneous things turn out to be the best things of all. Now, do you have a question for me today? Hello? Are you still there, Cherokee?
Hear me?
Are you still there? Can you hear me okay?
Sometimes my phone gets wishy-washy on me.
Oh, that's okay. What was your question?
I guess it would be, am I going to find love anytime soon?
My darling, you'll always find love. You have a beautiful personality, but you just doubt yourself way too much. So I feel this idea of having a relationship, sometimes you put too much pressure on yourself, and then you sort of have doubts that it can happen. Okay, so I feel like the next probably year won't bring you in the relationship you want, but by the time you get through the next year, you'll be ready for something beautiful with someone, because I see a baby boy here. So there's a child here waiting to come into your life. So I would say after the next 12 months, you're probably going to find someone who's going to give you or be with you for the relationship of a lifetime here. So very, very strong love coming through. You may even have the choice of more than one person, but you've definitely got this beautiful destined love happening here. I feel like you may meet this person a while before you actually have a relationship with them. So it may be you become friends with them, or they're a friend of a friend and you know them for a while before they actually ask you out. But this is about you having that confidence and the trust that the universe is bringing you in exactly what you want here. Okay. So towards the end of next year, I feel like this person will come into your life. I feel like you either meet them through a friend or through somebody you know will introduce you, but it may take them a little while to actually ask you out. So don't be too perturbed, if you don't get asked. If you don't get asked out straight away, because I think you're going to like this person a lot, and you may be a little impatient about them asking you out, but give them time to do that, because I feel like he's very shy. It's a very shy energy here.
And I'm a very outspoken person.
Yeah, and you may want something quicker, and he may seem to be a little bit reluctant to accept that, but that's okay because he will come round for you. But the next 12 months for you, you seem to be concentrating on other things. I don't mean that you won't have dates or go out, but the love that you're after, the person that you're after and asking about, your long-term partner, will come in around about the end of next year.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So you have yourself a beautiful birthday and enjoy 26. I'd love to be 26 again. So have a beautiful birthday. I think you've got a surprise coming up as well today. So you may have someone who's going to surprise you with an offer or come in and just give you a nice surprise. So yeah, I feel it. You've got someone around you who's going to surprise you. So you may get a call or maybe a message from someone you haven't perhaps heard from for a little while. So that's nice.
Okay.
So have a happy birthday, and it's been lovely reading for you.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome, Cherokee. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thanks. Okay, so again, it's lovely to read for you. I do readings. I'll give you a little bit of an idea about what I do. So I read, I've been reading since I was young. I used to read with a regular playing card deck when I first started out because I didn't have tarot cards. I was too young to buy them. And I don't think things were quite readily available as well when I was young. And I remember picking up runes for the first time too. So runes have been around for a very long time, obviously. I found that I got messages given direct to me. So sometimes I would sort of be like, where is that voice coming from? Who is speaking to me? And then I learned to understand that it was my higher self, spirit, God, however you see that energy in your universe. And then I started to read for other people. And at first I found that very clumsy and very difficult. But then, of course, they would give me feedback on what I'd read for them. And I started to understand how to interpret the messages better. And now, of course, even though I've been reading for a very long time, sometimes I give people messages and I have absolutely no idea what the message is about, and then people will come back to me later and say, well, this is what it was, but I just didn't realize what you meant at the time. And sometimes that sort of deciphering, when people ask me how I get the messages, I'm like, well, there's sort of a strong feeling. So I know I'm clairsentient because the feelings come through very strongly. I don't get vivid pictures. I get images that I fit together. So sometimes that's a matter of just wading through what those images are. And I put the images and the feelings and the thoughts all together into one to try and come up with some sort of energy that you can recognize. So sometimes it can be a little convoluted because I'm trying to interpret what the message is and trying to relay that to you. And I always think that, eventually you're going to work it out. People will call me later. Beautiful message I had the other day. I've been reading for a person for a couple of years, and she had a sort of very nasty ending to a relationship. And I said to her, I saw somebody coming in her future, and that I felt that she was going to meet him on a holiday. And she said, well, I'm going to Bali later this year. And I said, well, that's wonderful. I think you're going to meet somebody in Bali. Anyway, she sent me a message the other day and said to me, funny story. I actually am dating the travel agent who booked my holiday. And she started going out with her travel agent, which was really, really cute. So you can see how sometimes the messages can come through, but they're not always exactly as I see them. So sometimes just take them away with you. Just sit on them for a little while. Timing is always divine. So we think of time as linear in the human world, and it's not linear. Everything is happening. Your past, your present, your future is all occurring at the same time here. So spirit doesn't work on a clock. They don't work on a time frame. So very often, things take a while to come in. You can have readings that you may have had, a year ago, 2 years ago, that will take that amount of time to come through, because what we're reading isn't time limited. Sometimes it can happen in exactly the space of time, but not always. So I say to people, be patient, go with it, give it a little bit of a time to unfold, because that's how it works. So going back to how I started to read, I then started to branch out and read for other people. I then started doing fairs, which was really beautiful because I really love doing fairs. And I was doing them quite frequently. I did a lot last year. I'm pulling back this year because I'm obviously branching out into television. I've been requested to write articles for magazines now. So my journey has changed quite a lot over that time. So I really enjoy what I do, and I'm open to all new things. So I do a lot of personal readings. I have a YouTube channel at the Aussie Goddess. I have a Facebook page, so if you want to come over and join me on the Aussie Goddess on my Facebook page. I am on Instagram, although I don't utilize it as much as I should. I am on Twitter and LinkedIn, so please have a look out for me. If you want a personal reading, the best thing to do there is probably go to the YouTube channel. I keep all the details underneath the YouTube videos. I do a daily read, a weekly read, a monthly read, and then I do sort of like insight readings every now and again if I'm called to do that. And of course now I do Moonstruck Television, which is absolutely fabulous, and I'm really enjoying doing this. When I first started, I was a little nervous, but today feels absolutely fabulous. So I'm starting to get into the swing of things now. If you do want to write to me and give me some ideas about things you'd like to talk about or like me to talk about on the channel, please go to my YouTube channel where my email address is listed underneath. And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to just have your feedback or some energy around what sort of things you'd like me to talk about. And I'll be back with you, of course, next week, same time, same bat channel. Thank you.